Do people out there exist that actually like spoilers? I'm not saying they don't mind spoilers, I'm asking if they actually like them, like they go out of their way to get spoiled on something that they're interested in seeing for themselves. Maybe they do, heck if I know. But I know one thing's for a fact, I do not like spoilers. At all. As in, outside of trailers that exist to tell you that a product is being created and worked on, I want to know as little about a future product as possible, while still having enough information where I'm enticed to want to actually see it. Like, on some level, I understand why spoilers do exist. A lot of people like to throw around the criticism where you should not judge a book by its cover, but the reality is that if you don't judge something by what you already know, then you can't reasonably rationalize on whether or not you'd actually want to see it or not. Like, trailers exist specifically to be judged. It's entirely valid to do it there. But when you already know so much about something that the spectacle to reacting to it blind is no longer there, you have a very real problem. But this video isn't about bad advertising, it's when everyday Joes and Janes do spoilery stuff instead. Now obviously, not everyone who posts a spoiler for another person is doing it maliciously. Heck, this is something that I've been guilty of in the past. And it largely just boils down to the fact that people can be really excited for a future product. And when you want to talk about something enough, sometimes things just happen to slip out. It's annoying, sure, but accidents do happen. And sometimes it can be difficult to determine what's a spoiler and what isn't. This is a bit anecdotal, but once upon a time I used to be really into Pokemon, and while in a Discord call with some others like Fat Guy 703 and JDAcer64, I accidentally spoiled that there will be a new Pokemon battle gimmick in Dynamax, and I called it Gigamax there, so as a result of this, they would repeatedly pronounce it incorrectly throughout their entire Let's Play. Yeah, not my proudest moment. Sometimes it's just really hard to tell what people don't actually know, because if it's been put out officially and the product itself isn't actually out yet, you may just assume that everyone already knows it, so there's a lapse in judgment for you. Of course, dodging spoilers before something is out can be really hard due to hype. It becomes an entirely different beast after the product has already come out if you haven't already had a chance to actually finish it. Which, let's be real here, most normal people won't be able to. And in this day and age, where what you're actually recommended can be determined by algorithms, it's become harder than ever to avoid spoilers without literally logging off of the internet entirely. Look no further than games like Omori or Deltarune. It'd be nice if the option at least existed to, say, have YouTube not recommend you videos with a certain title, or maybe there was a future release and you did not want to see spoilers for. You could type the game or movie there, and as a result, just not be recommended videos for it. Or at the bare minimum, have the thumbnail be blurred since people tend to react faster to what they can see rather than what they can read, but that's not the case. Instead, for example on YouTube, there are actually features included that make it even harder to avoid spoilers. If you watch YouTube on mobile, for example, you're most likely aware of the fact that there are sometimes comments that appear under the video, and if you touch the comment, it shows the comment section in full, right? Sometimes those comments can post a direct spoiler to the video you're currently watching. Which I imagine in general isn't the worst thing in the world, but if you're following sports like, say, football, or maybe watching an esport like Super Smash Bros., sometimes the comments can have people unintentionally spoil the result for you, and it freaking sucks. And I feel like unfortunately, this has an adverse effect on how people also treat spoilers in general. Where people nowadays feel it's entirely okay to flex their own knowledge on something, knowing that you yourself haven't even had a chance to see through it yet. And in some even more egregious cases, they treat you like you're the bad person for not wanting their help or their advice or their insight. And bear in mind, these aren't spoilers that would actually be important for people to know. Like for example, if someone was trying to warn you that you were going to watch something that has epileptic scenes and you had epilepsy yourself, that to me would be a pretty good reason to spoil something for them. But more often than not, the spoilers involve plot details, or in the realm of gaming, hints and tips to beat bosses in certain levels. Here's the rub. I'm a 28-year-old man who's grown up with games like freaking Crash Bandicoot, which demand trial and error. If it takes me 20 minutes to get past the first level of Kingdom Hearts, I'm not gonna get angry at Kingdom Hearts for it. I'm not playing a game for the express purpose of just getting through it, I'm playing the game to have fun. And sometimes getting lost, not knowing what to do, that can be fun for me. But beyond that, if you're a spectator, it's not your responsibility to help the person playing the game. In fact, here's a life lesson. While it's important to know what you're talking about, it's even more important to demonstrate that you actually care about the people you're talking to. What you say very well could be entirely correct and be extremely beneficial to people who actually are hearing it. But if what you're saying and how you're saying it isn't tailored to what the person you're talking to actually needs to hear, they're not going to appreciate it. Sometimes people just want someone to talk to. Just because you know what to do and they don't, doesn't mean they want the information spoon-fed to them. The fact of the matter is that whether you're reading a book, playing a game, watching a movie, or watching a TV show, the media you're watching should be able to stand on its own merits. If it can't do that, that's a failing of the product. At the bare minimum, let the person you're watching actually ask for help first. Like if there's an achievement that they're gunning for, and they want to know the best course of action to actually get it. That's fine, because at least at that point, someone is consenting to spoilers. Otherwise, all you're doing by spoiling people who may not want to actually know what's coming up yet, is you're hurting the spectacle of people who want to react to something blind. It'd be like if you went out to order ice cream, and then you had some rando coming in taking your ice cream cone, licking all over it and giving it back to you. Yeah, it's still largely intact and you can still enjoy it all the same, but would you even want to now that someone else got their germs all over it? No! And what would even be their motivation for doing that? Letting you know it actually tasted good? Odds are I got the ice cream because I thought I'd like it. I don't need your help to determine that. Like, I'm not gonna thank you for ruining the experience for me. If anything, I'd feel like you'd be treating me like an idiot. And that's another thing. Do the people who post these spoilers really not think that we as human beings are not capable of figuring stuff out ourselves? Even when something was designed with literal children in mind? To give an example, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door got a remake for the Nintendo Switch about a year ago. A game that I am extremely passionate about, and is a game that I love so much that I bought a Nintendo Switch solely to be able to play the remake when it came out. Being a gaming YouTuber, I would want to stream my experience playing the game for the first time. Unfortunately, it would also mean I get through the game very slowly, and as a result, the scarce new content added to the game, I wasn't even able to experience blind. And bear in mind, I'm not talking about the people who would make YouTube videos for their own YouTube channels, and they get recommended to me. I can't in good faith get mad at someone who's only trying to make videos that get a lot of views and attention. Besides, just because you know something is there, doesn't mean you can't still be surprised, since just knowing that something exists can still leave something up to your imagination. No, I'm referring to people who could be in my very own audience who comment under my videos who may be thinking about what they want to see rather than what I can actually do. Telling me specifically what to look out for, and robbing me my one and only chance of actually being surprised. Essentially leaving absolutely nothing up to the imagination. So instead of enhancing the remake, it just made me strictly prefer the original since I no longer really care for what the remake had to offer. This is why we can't have nice things. Sorry Goombella, your role as the tattler was just usurped by Ranting. Inversely, there are other games I actually was able to play entirely blind from start to finish, like Bug Fables and The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. And they were some of the most fun I've ever actually had playing games in general. It's not every day you get to audibly gasp at something that you did not expect to see happen. And as a result, the playthroughs I had of both of those games are playthroughs I feel like only I could have really made. They weren't homogenized by people who wanted to see the game be played in quote-unquote the right way. And now that I've had my fun, I've grown to really appreciate all the time and love that really went into making these games as good as they were. I want to have more experiences like that. Being able to form my own thoughts, come up with my own strategies, making my own mistakes, and probably discovering something new that no one else has actually found before. But if people don't let you learn how to swim, don't be surprised then when those same people sink with no one to carry them. Bottom line, screw spoilers, and the people who consciously do it without considering how the people hearing them will react to them.